right up! Step right up, ladies and gentlemen! Step right up! What do we have here? Welcome to the carnival, ladies and gentlemen! Step right up, and I'll let you in. Hope you got a heart of gold. It'll test you, friend. Think you got it figured out? Guess again, but a carnival. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, play the games. We'll pretend you win. You're a hardy soul, a fine specimen. Step within the circus tent, let's begin. Get ready for the ride of your life. I mean business, like the sharp side of a knife. I'm the ringleader. Mostly you don't see me, cause I stay out of the spotlight. It's easy, believe me, cause you're so distracted by what's in center stage being overacted. The ropes and elastic, the sawdust and sequins, they tell a story you all just believe in. You're so gullible, as long as it's colorful, bright and shiny. Yes, isn't it wonderful? Stay comfortable, relax, sit and watch it while I creep behind your backs and pick pockets. I don't stop at nickels and dimes when I want your time and the thoughts from your mind. Don't worry, it's fine. Stop looking backstage. Why you so curious? Act your age. Welcome to the carnival, ladies and gentlemen. Step right up, and I'll let you in. Hope you got a heart of gold. It'll test you, friend. Think you got it figured out? Guess again. What a carnival, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, play the games. We'll pretend you win. You're a hardy soul, a fine specimen.
Hey, welcome back. It's been a little while since I've been here. Are you ready for some drama? I don't think I am. It's generally not my thing. But in this case, I think it's gotta be done. I don't like to be silenced, so let's get her done.
This video is fair use. It is transformative and is protected under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances needed for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, reporting, teaching, and more.
So hello again, it's me, TPE, and welcome to the stream. Today we are going to be reviewing a few things that Nonsense had to say about me. I'm going to try not to get into all the things about all the other people. Knowing me, that's probably not going to happen, but we'll do our best. Let's get right into it. You'll see the streams that we're covering, and I'll try to show the timestamps, and the links will be in the description as well. I would also like to make it very clear that there wouldn't even be a video being made right now if I hadn't been blocked. And I still don't quite understand why I was blocked or which reason I was blocked for, but maybe once we listen, we'll find out. I kind of think that if you're going to bring someone up and speak on them publicly, that you shouldn't then block them straight after so that they can't speak their mind, at least under your video. I have a channel and I can speak out on that channel, which is what I'm doing now instead. But originally I left a comment under her video, and yeah, people can't see that now because I'm blocked. And that happened with another creator recently as well, and that's Chronicles of the Shady, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. Here we go. This is the title of today's video that we'll be reviewing, or one of them, I should say. And you're going to see that right below that video, I can see my comment, but nobody else can, because as I go in there under a different account, it's no longer there, which means I've been blocked. So there you have it. My comment is there, and I will read it for you. And it's only there right now for me to see, because when you're blocked, you kind of think your comment's still there and you can't really tell that you're blocked until you go look under a different account. We'll see what it says and we'll go from there, because we are going to listen to Nonsense's words and we're going to try and make sense out of nonsense and try and figure out why it is that I'm blocked when all I did was go in someone else's chat, which, well, I thought that was okay. I thought it was perfectly acceptable to go in other people's chats. And I also thought it was kind of more about what you said in the chats, not that you're just in a chat. And well, I guess it's not okay to have an opinion these days. Let's read my comment first and we'll go from there. And so my comment says, Nonsense. First and foremost, I'm sorry you lost your pup. I'm so sorry. They are family and it's the worst. That gross page is disgusting. It is a lot at once for you, and I can't even imagine. And yeah, please let me pause here and add that that is vile and disgusting. Whoever made that page, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're gross. It's disgusting. Don't do that to people. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this, the channel is deleted. Flat out lies about someone, especially in that regard, you're disgusting. And you don't belong here. Get a life. Use someone's words. Use their bad behavior on here that you can find, but don't just make stuff up. You're disgusting. And if you would like more information about how to report this vile, disgusting page, I'm going to put the link in the description for you. I'll do my best to provide a link in the description if it's still available, and if I can, I'll do my best. And if you have no idea what I'm even talking about, head over to Nonsense's channel and she will tell you in her live. All right, continuing on with the comment. It's a lot at once for you, and I can't even imagine. I'm sorry you're hurt and upset and going through this. I would like to say that just because I was in a chat, 1, doesn't mean I agree with all the things said, and 2, doesn't mean I was even paying attention fully, or even know close to what was all going on. Now in this case, I did agree with the comment. It specifically says that in the chat, but it's not under the same context that Nonsense is telling you that it's under. So later on in the stream, we're going to go over that, and we're going to make sure that everyone understands. Back to my comment. Not an excuse, but I know you've been there. Ignorance is real and doesn't have to be a bad word. Sometimes we actually have real life going on around us. I might be there, but not fully be there, and or totally think differently about some of it. Okay, so we're on pause here again, just so you know. And yeah, what I mean by that is I might be there, but I might be making dinner at the same time. I may be talking to someone else in the background at the same time. I may not be fully paying attention. I also may not agree with all the things that are being said. But don't get me wrong, there are definitely things that I agree with. I do feel like people need to lower their expectations around things like that. I don't assume that everyone who's in my chat is agreeing with everything that I'm saying. Even if they're not writing it in the chat, doesn't mean I assume that they're agreeing with me. I mean, think of all the people that just come in and say, hey, how's it going? That doesn't mean they're agreeing with what I'm saying. I also don't put expectations on my acquaintances that they need to fight my own battles. Back to reading. Also, you've said it multiple times that people should go where they want, and you don't want or need people to stand up for you. I'm the same. I don't need or want people to fight my battles. I doubt you heard or saw me agree with that comment. Pause. Now, in this part I was wrong, because when I went back, I did agree with the comment in some way, not in the context that Nonsense seems to think. We'll go over that later. But I get what you're saying, and I especially get it right now, meaning like you're going through a lot. I get there's a lot at once, like way too much. Things that are total lies about you, and it's gross AF. I get that. I was going to email you privately, but you said my name publicly a couple of times and said not to come back here, and that is your choice. For now, I'll keep my thoughts to myself, and what I mean by that is like certain things I'm not going to run my mouth off because I feel like Nonsense is probably going through a lot right now. By the way, we're paused here. Okay, back to it. And so for now, I'll keep my thoughts to myself. For today, I mean. It's enough already. But if you'd like to speak to me privately, do let me know. I can be in a chat. I can agree with some things and not others. I've seen you doing the same thing. 2 things can be the same at once, as you say. And I agree. Hopefully, you get some rest and feel better. I mean that. Take some time, because when we are upset, we lash out more than we should. Or at least more than we normally would. And I can understand that. And I mean it. I don't have to agree with everything to still care. We can talk at a later date if you would like. Clearly, I'd rather do that than spark up a live and just go nuts. And then I put a little heart. But clearly, my opinion wasn't allowed to be left under the video after I was spoke on. So now I'm making a video. And it's going to take a few days, so that gives you some time to cool off, chill out, and hopefully become more reasonable with certain things. Normally I don't, but there was 2 in a row where people made videos, mentioned me, and then I was blocked from speaking. So I'm using my platform, And that's what we're here to do today. So that was my comment. And now let's move on to a couple of clips. And what you're seeing now is just the proof that my comment is gone if you go under a different profile. So I could see it under my profile because I'm blocked. You can't really tell until you use a different profile. And whether you're incognito or you have like a troll account, you go look and my comment is not there. So that's interesting. There you have it. All right, let's go to some clips and hear what Nonsense had to say. And then I can respond. So this is the stream from Thursday night, and I showed you earlier the title and all that stuff, and I'll put the link in the description. So this stream was kind of all over the place. There was a lot of they, thems, and you couldn't at times tell who was being blamed for what, and I do 100% understand why Nonsense was all over the place. She had a rough day. Her dog passed away, and I'm really sorry. That's awful. I've been through it. It's terrible. And then there was that page made about her with complete lies and BS. And then Nonsense was also upset that other people had opinions in, I believe it was Soup's chat. I don't know if there was other ones she was talking about, but specifically in Soup's chat. And yeah, not much was really said about what Soup had to say. And she didn't seem too upset with Soup. It was more about the people in the chat and a couple comments that were made in the chat. Well, specifically one. And then those who were in there were, I don't know what word to use. I'm not going to say targeted, but Nonsense was hurt and upset by those who were in the chat and did not come to her defense. So just to give you some context. But I will say that the comment she's so upset about regarding 6up saying that Nonsense exploited her child, it was taken way out of context. It wasn't to do necessarily with Cash, but it was to do with what Soup and Pearl were talking about, generally speaking. They were speaking about creators and Nonsense and how they tend to overshare and speak a lot about their children's private things like medical, mental health, whatever it may be. But unfortunately, you're using that as content. And then unfortunately, other people will in turn use it as content. And it's a vicious cycle. And I also know that 6up has learned that the hard way. She's been through it. And anyway, go listen to her live. It explains it a lot better than I just did. So do go listen to 6up's live. She does address it, and it does make a lot more sense when you're in the chat and you know the full context as to what's going on. But yeah, just my thoughts. This video is specifically for me to speak my mind and respond to what was said about me specifically and my thoughts and opinions. So here we go. Let's do it. So this is just basically one of the times I was brought up. I believe there's going to be 3 in total, 2 where my name was mentioned and 1 where I'm going to assume it was me, but not 100% sure. I can't say for sure, but I'm assuming it's me, and we'll do that one last. So here are the first 2 that my name was mentioned and I would like to respond. So here we go. First one, or I think it was second, but I may not have them in the right order.
It's just this, just to know that they were in that chat when 6up is saying, like, I don't expect anything more out of 6up, honestly. I just don't.
So just to give you some context, when she says they, I believe she's talking about some of her ex-mods, maybe Nanya. I'm just guessing because, again, it's a they and I'm not 100% sure. But she did mention at some point before this that she was disappointed in her former friends. I guess former friends? I don't know. I don't actually know if they're still friends, former friends. I don't know, but she was disappointed that those people were in Soup's chat while she was being discussed, I guess. Specifically being in the chat when the comment made by 6up, people should stop exploiting their children or stop exploiting your child or whatever it is that she said. I guess Nonsense was upset that nobody came to her defense, but again, I do believe she has the wrong context. She thinks it's in regards to just the Cash situation, but what they were playing, the clip, was not about that as far as I know. It was mainly meant in regards to speaking about a loved one's health, mental health, that type of thing publicly on a platform, and how it's important to protect your family members and not give out all that information. That's the way I took it. All I can do is speak for myself.
I don't expect anything more out of 6up, honestly. I just don't, because I don't I don't with that group of people, so I don't expect any more out of her. So I'm not shocked by seeing her saying shit like that. I'm not shocked about that.
I guess I don't really know what you mean by I don't F with that group of people, because, I mean, you've been in all our chats, you've said hey, and I don't even know which group of people you mean, because, like, it's all kind of intertwined. So, yeah, make it make sense. maybe be a little more clear about who you mean, they, them, the groups, because not very many people understand what you're saying and who you're talking about. And that's kind of been something that a lot of people have agreed on recently. And all of a sudden, I never messed with those people, I never liked those people, you know, when certain things come out. All of a sudden, you never liked them. Well, that's convenient, in my opinion. Very, very convenient. And I know for a fact that you, Nonsense, don't like it. You don't like it when other people assume you sit with certain people. And you've made that very clear. So hopefully you're not just assuming that people sit with these people, and just because they do sit with these people means they agree with everything they say and do. Let's just be very clear about that. But let me also be very clear that I think it's walking a dangerous line talking about family members and their mental health and any other private family issues. I think those stories are for the people themselves to tell, if they want to tell it. And I'm sure you do have permission from your adult daughter to talk about whatever you do talk about. I'm sure you wouldn't make that choice to do it without that permission. But my concern is, which is, again, this is none of my business. These are just my opinions and thoughts. And after being in this community for this long, I've seen it happen so many times. These stories that we tell or talk about our family, our loved ones, they come back and they bite us in the ass. People use them against us. And the problem is the internet is forever. And again, people that I love and care about very much have been there and have done that. And it's come back to bite them in the ass. It was used against them. It was used to make more lies and embellish, and I think it's a dangerous thing to do, walking a dangerous line. And I just hope, well, I was going to say I hope you don't learn the hard way, but at this point, it's being used against you and your family and loved ones, and it sucks, and it doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make you any less of a victim because you wanted to share personal stuff. And by that I mean in regards to that troll page, the nasty, disgusting troll page. I just hope that other people can learn from it and that moving forward, we make better decisions. This community is vile. And let me make it clear one more time that this is not to take away from what happened to you and your family. You are victims of a disgusting POS pervert, and I do hope this gets fixed and goes away, and you don't deserve that at all. And neither does your daughter or your husband.
But again, for people that I once called friends, once considered and trusted with wrenches, to be in that chat and not say shit, not say, no, that's not how this is. That's not how this goes. I don't do shit to them.
I don't even really know who seeks. I've seen them. I ain't never been to their page, so.
Yeah, I don't fucking follow that group of people.
Well, you certainly have in the past at some point, because you've been in the chat, you've said hi and all the things. Anyway, just because you were in a chat doesn't mean you agree with what's going on, right? Right. All right, we are skipping ahead here just a little bit.
If you want to see the comment that was made by 6up to that what I'm saying, Curvy Barbie OG, click that. She posted it and tagged me in her post on her page. It was made in the comment section on the Soups Live yesterday. That's what people were talking about. I could care less about the 6up comment. It's the people who are in that chat.
And if you want to vet it, I think the most appropriate thing to do would be to go and actually listen to the context. Not just look at the screenshot, and not just watch the comment fly by in chat, but actually rewind a few minutes and listen to what's being said. That's important. And we're going to do that coming up soon here. But listen to the actual full context of what was going on, what was being said on the live stream when the comment was made. And maybe people agree with it. Maybe that's why they didn't come to your defense, because maybe what you were talking about is slightly exploitative, not necessarily what you're doing, but what can happen later. What can happen when stuff like that gets put on the internet is, well, what you've just seen. Backlash. You have a lot of enemies, unfortunately, because of what we do on here is call people out. And those people that we're generally calling out, at least some of those people, are total POSs. They don't care. So they're going to do terrible things back to you, even if they're complete lies. People get mad, they do stupid shit, and the more they know about your personal life, the more they're going to go for that. If they can't find a criminal record because you don't have one, they're going to make stuff up. And unfortunately, they know your weak spot and your husband and those you love the most. And they don't care. They'll go low, they'll lie. They are pieces of crap. And unfortunately, when you give them stuff to use, they're going to use it. And it sucks.
It's fucked up and it's stupid. It's stupid. Like I said, I thought, you know, the scammer was going to get outed. Everybody would file their reports. That bitch would go to jail. End of story. Now it has blown up to this. Now it has blown up to Cash is this, Kyle is this, nonsense is this.
But to be completely fair, how do we know those things have anything to do with each other? I mean, like the gross page mixed with victims going to the police or not. And anyway, I have a lot more to say on that, but I'm trying to get this to not be such a long video. Not working. But anyway, how do we know that this Yep situation with the victims has anything to do with that disgusting page that came out? We don't really know. I mean, it's possible. The timing would make sense. But yeah, I think there's multiple things happening at the same time. And yeah, just my thoughts. By the way, I forgot to mention, that is Chico who's speaking. And they are a frequent panel guest at Nonsenses. I really like Chico. I think they at times make a lot of great points. So yeah, I'll try and find their channel and put their link in the description as well.
Like, come on. And I know some folks think that shit is funny. They think it's a game. They think it's hilarious. It's not. Because if somebody put that jacket on your name, you'd be fighting mad. If somebody blatantly, flat out lied on you and said you were touching minors, you'd be ready to fight. And there's going to be people that sit here and say, well, if it's not true, why even entertain it? Because that shit can ruin people's lives just by y'all saying shit like that. Because let's not act like some motherfuckers out here don't run with rumors and just state it as a fact. Because how many times have we seen it? Somebody will say it in the chat, and next thing you know, some creator sit here saying, yeah, we heard. That shit is not okay. And I want the receipts on that shit. Send it to my email. I want the receipts, please.
I agree 100%. It's disgusting. I think for myself, I might not want to bring attention to it. I may tell a few people in private and get them to help me report it, get in touch with YouTube, but bringing more attention to it, I don't know. That's just me though. Everyone has the right to do whatever they want as a victim of something. And that goes back to our point about the other victims, and what they wanted to do with what happened to them is what's right. Whatever they feel is right. Whether they want to report it, whether they don't. It happens. It happens to all different types of victims, and I feel like we should support them in whatever they choose to do. Whether they choose to speak about it, whether they choose to report it, whether they choose not to report it. I'm going to support them, even if I don't agree, even if I think they should report it. I'm still going to support them. A victim should get to decide what they do, when they do it, and how they do it on their own time frame. And I'm not going to get angry and mean and start yelling and you should do this, you should do that, and talking about high horses. I mean, I think there's a few people who like to sit on high horses in this community. And yeah, sometimes it just comes across as, I've been called a know-it-all. I sit up on my platform on my soapbox and I've been called a know-it-all. Sometimes it's the tone of your voice. Sometimes it's the level of your voice if it's very loud. Sometimes it's passion, but other people take it as anger. And I get that. But the point is, sorry, I'm off on a little tangent here, but I think the point is that victims should be able to do what they want, how they want to do it, when they want to do it, and if they want to do anything at all. Some people don't. We also don't have to put them down because they're not doing things the way that we think they should be doing things. And that's just how I feel about it. If Nonsense wants to put this page on blast and let everyone know what the page says, that's on her and that's up to her. And she has that choice to make for herself. And I agree that any other victim has the same right. Sure, it would be nice to warn the community, but people have timelines of their own. They may want to sort through things, make sure there's proof available, talk to each other, that sort of thing. And that's up to them. That's up to them. And it's up to us as well to be diligent, to be cautious, and to guard our wallets. Be careful. It's said all the time. Don't send money to people you don't know. All the warnings have been out there. And that is not to blame anyone. That's just be careful. Be careful out there. Be careful.
Yesterday, the soup, who you don't even recognize these names because they're not somebody we've ever even discussed. The circle jerks, the soup, I'm not sure. I don't know these people at all. But these people were in a chat yesterday with Six Up, and Six Up said they were talking about me, they were reviewing me. And Six Up said, please stop exploiting your kid. And Nunya and Elle were in the chat and never fucking said a word. And I just got confirmation of that, and it stuck me like a fucking, yeah. I hope none of these fucking pieces of shit. Tragedy Pimps Exposed, don't ever come over here again. I'm sorry, you're in there too. Don't ever play in my face again. Sorry, not sorry.
Okay, so there you have it. So, because I was in a chat, I am no longer welcome. That's fine. I mean, I'm not going to cry over it. Don't really care that much. I'm blocked now, and that's the only thing I kind of have an issue with, because if you're going to talk about me, I feel like I should have the right to respond. That's just how I run my channel. Of course, you can run your channel however you want to run your channel. You want to block everybody who disagrees with you, go for it. You want to block everyone who sits with certain people who may or may not even agree with those people all the time. Sure, do you. It's your channel. I just find it interesting that certain people like to block people and talk about them at the same time. Yeah, not something I do on my channel. I have probably 3, maybe 4 people blocked, and it's because they like to spam or be homophobic or hateful. But yeah, I'm not a little baby that needs to block everybody who doesn't like me sometimes. And that's not even true. I don't actually not like you. I just disagree with you a lot. I disagree with the way you exploit Sebastian Rogers, which I've said that before. I think you're exploiting him by, I don't know what episode you're on, 4,900, 862, who knows, but it's a lot. You have exploited him a lot, and that's my opinion. Doesn't mean I hate you, doesn't mean I even dislike you, it just means I dislike what you do and I disagree with some of the things you're doing. But hey, I thought we could be cordial and, you know, carry productive conversations, especially when we do agree. And yeah, there are a lot of things that we both do agree on. I don't know, I enjoy talking to people that I disagree with. Not because I'm trying to be a bitch or anything, I just like to learn from people that I disagree with. I like to know what makes them tick or why they do the things they do. But, well, I'm starting to think it's pretty obvious here. It is exploitation, what you do over there. And I think that's probably why you're so mad or why you want to block me, because you know that's what I think. And yeah, you probably just don't want to see my comments regarding the exploitation of Sebastian Rogers and his family too. And it is what it is. But based on what you just said, it seems like you're blocking me because I was in another chat where someone was speaking about you. Even if I didn't speak about you, I don't know, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but even if I did or didn't, if you want to block someone for that, that's on you, and it's up to you. I just think it's kind of a pussy move, that's all. I guess I wonder, was it my job to stand up for you? I know you're mad at other people that were your friends in the past who were in there that didn't stand up for you. Am I put into that category as well? Because I didn't think we knew each other that well. We've exchanged a couple emails, but yeah, nothing crazy. And we've been cordial for a while, even after I made that video where I did disagree and think that some of your coverage of Sebastian Rogers, well, to the extent that it is, there's so much of it that's exploitation. Even after that video, we were able to be cordial. So yeah, me being in another chat, I don't know you that well, so I'm not sure why you have an expectation that I should have stood up for you. Yeah, and again, you have the context wrong on all of that. So yeah, I agree with the comment the way it's actually meant to be in context. Anyway, the fact that I'm blocked is not gonna alter my life in any way here. I just felt a certain way because I did write a comment under that video in response. And once you saw that comment, you blocked me. After it had some likes on it, you blocked me. So you either didn't want people seeing what I wrote, or you blocked me because I was in a chat, or maybe it's because I sit with certain people. I don't know, but it's up to you. I mean, but hey, your channel, your choice.
You can give to anybody that was in that chat and never said f***ing jack shit can get.
And you have every right to feel that way. You do.
And I still think that everyone should go listen to the proper context of that comment, where it was said in the live, and why it was said in the live, and what was being played at the time. Nonsense included. I hope she does go look. And like I said earlier, we are going to go over it. Sorry it's taking so long to get there, but we will go over it as soon as we're done some of this stuff.
Because like I said, Mama Bear, you was them plus Dex, like I said, all of this shit happening at once. It's definitely a motherfucker. And having to deal with it all at once. You have to process this stuff, and then you have to process this shit. You got to make sure your child is okay, because now your child is getting thrown in shit.
Well, some people aren't going to like this, but it's true. You put your child into it first. And unfortunately, it doesn't make you any less of a victim of what happened. But when you put your kids out there, we all kind of know what happens. Doesn't make it any less disgusting. And of course, I'm referring to that nasty page. And I agree with Chico there. It's a hell of a lot at once. Too many things at once. And they're all swirling around. And that's why I kind of said in my comment, like, it's a lot at once. And I do think it's a lot of misplaced anger. Angry at the wrong people, perhaps. And I just think nonsense has a lot happening at one time. And yeah, I still think that a couple of days break from these YouTube streets would be a good idea. That's just my opinion, my thoughts. She obviously can do whatever she wants. Whatever she wants. And yeah, I guess hitting the live button is important to people, especially those who use YouTube as an income. They still need that income coming in to pay the bills. And so I can understand why some can't just take a break for a week and unplug, even though it's probably for the best. But hey, everybody has a right to respond, react, and do whatever they want as a victim. If something happens to you, you get to respond exactly the way you want to respond, especially on your own channel. So as I'm doing it my way on my channel, others will do the same on theirs, whether we agree or not. And the only reason I'm even still in this community is because I do take a lot of breaks. You gotta take mental health breaks. This place is toxic. It's insane, and it really isn't mentally healthy for someone who is of average mental health, let alone people who have mental health problems. I mean, come on. So I take as many breaks as I can. All right, I've decided we are going to review the part of Soup's video where this comment from Sixup comes up. You want to start around 59 minutes for full context, so that's what we're going to do. Here's the live right there, and the link will be in the description. Although, I suggest you watch the whole entire live stream. Nonsense is still going on and on, how this has everything to do with cash, and talking about people pimping her daughter out to cash, and meaning she's saying other people are saying that. This is not what that comment from Sixup was about. You need the full context, so please do pay attention, nonsense, so that you can stop spreading misinformation. I don't know if maybe Brittany and her crew were saying things like that, but I didn't hear that from this live stream, at least not the way you're describing it. And part of the problem with saying they, them, this group, that group, people get confused and think you're talking about other people, and that's how rumors get spread. So I think it's important to have full context. So context is everything, people. Let's make sure we rewind enough so that we have the full context, and we'll see when the comment comes in, and then we'll make sure we play enough after that so that we, have full context.
Yes, exactly. I care so much that I've got to come in and tell you I don't care.
Right, Kate?
Can I just make something very clear?
Yes.
The only conversations I have heard cash being mentioned from these supposed people in the dark places is them saying that cash had every right to know as soon as people were certain, and that he had every right to speak up about it. I've not heard any criticism about it. I've not been everywhere. I'm not saying those conversations haven't happened. I'm just saying, make sure that you're blaming the right people if you truly believe that has happened.
That's a good point, Pearl.
No, I have no idea. I've stayed away from that fucking shithole for a long time. I don't fucking entertain any of that group of people. And to those of you that are out here saying that I've given out her address and all these things, no, I have not. Nope. County, city, state.
Let me slow her down. Dang.
Absolutely.
One thing I can say about nonsense is she does not talk slow. Damn.
Hey, would have done it a year ago every day. Don't care. So keep trying to spin it. Keep bringing my kid in. Keep bringing my adult child in. Because
ma'am,
more foolish every time. And so do
you're bringing your adult child into it.
No one. No one mentioned this daughter other than you were the person who started all this by having this big thing about how, oh, sort of she runs you and she cares about cash, therefore you've got to sort of do this thing and calling her in and all this sort of. You were the person who made her the focal point. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it except you.
You even brought her in the room one night. Kenzie, come here. God almighty, you did this.
All right, so far we have a panel with Pearl and Soup. And yeah, they're having opinions, and so is the chat. The chat is also having opinions. I see really no difference here than your chat and your panel, where you have opinions and people in the chat have opinions. Try to tell me otherwise. People are allowed to have opinions, and that's a fact.
People around you. He was good enough for $2,000, huh? So if you thought he was having inappropriate relationships with a child, even though she was an adult the entire time, what does that say about you? Oh, that you're willing to align yourself with horrible people to benefit your pocketbook? Is that what it says about you? Yep. Well, the difference is he's not a bad person. He's an amazing human being. And when it comes to people I love and care about, Cash and Kenzie and Cash, you know, we've always made the joke over here that Cash actually runs the fucking island because he is one of two people. Let me remind you, one of two.
Oh my God, lady, calm down. Everybody knows you love Cash. Cash. You love Cash. He has access to your whole family. Like, you have made this known so much, it's cringe. Like, you're really hurting my square. Cash. Everybody, Cash and Nonsense are family.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that?
Cash. Everybody, Cash and Nonsense are family.
Who? Not that I don't trust some of these other women on here, because I do. Absolutely. Revival. She could have access to Kenzie Chico. Kenzie watches Chico all the time.
You hear that, Revival?
Because a community post that Kenzie saw, and she's like, that's fucking.
Before you left like it was an airport, did you hear that, Revival? Get back here.
It's funny shit. But Cash is one of two people that has direct access to Sis. The other one is Amethyst.
Who's Sis? Wait a minute. Amethyst. Ain't Amethyst the one that you couldn't even bother to defend when the bee went in on her? Hey, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that Amethyst that you couldn't even be bothered to defend against the bee because you're scared of her? Yeah, but you love your Islanders. You know, I wouldn't even do this if it wasn't for my Islanders. They told me not to watch, so I didn't. So I'm only speaking out because of my Islanders. Okay, Nonsense. On the web.
Day one OG. Sure as fuck is. Yeah, blank screen, this shit just pissed. Like, this made my fucking, and I've already been an emotional wreck. If you guys know, you know, my animals are my life. And I've had Dexter since he was 2 days old. So he was actually my ex. But I'll be fucking darned. I'll be darned that the digs that were taken at Cash on this fucking call. I'll be darned.
Okay, so as far as I know, she's talking about the call between Flava, who's another creator, and Yep, the scammer. And she's just talking about that and what Yep was saying.
I'll be
How's everybody
darned.
protecting her? Oh my gosh, Chico. Fucking, she's ridiculous. Chico was in the car ride with our entire family. Oh my god. That's the thing is, like, I don't even, like, we're over here making up and fabricating an entire life. Let me tell you about my family firm. Let me tell you about something 99% of you will never be. Well, you pretend that you're these great fucking people on here. No, I'm just the asshole that I am. Never claimed to be anything else. But let me tell you a little bit about my family.
Oh, God.
My child.
No.
Okay, and here comes the problem. And there may be parts that I want to cut out because I don't want that on my channel. I don't want that for anyone. And yes, that's unfortunate for context purposes, but I do think you'll get the gist of it.
And she spoke on this herself. Has got to do with ideation because of medical issues.
No, I'm
And she was-
fast forwarding.
And there you have it. That is what people were talking about, at least in this chat. I can't speak for other chats that I haven't seen. I don't know what Brittany J and them said over there on her channel, but I do know that the chat that I was in, that's what we were talking about with regard to exploitation and using a situation like that in regards to a family member. It just didn't need to be said. It didn't need to be used. I'm just going to be careful with what I say. But it kind of reminds me of other creators who tend to play victim. And it's a manipulation tactic. because you're using it to defend yourself. There, I said it. And maybe that wasn't Nonsense's intention in that moment, but that's how it came across. And people are going to have opinions about that. I mean, it's being said on your platform. Anything that you say on your channel is up for discussion in a way. It doesn't necessarily make that right or wrong, but you know that if BJ, for example, had ever come out and said something like that about her child, people would be all over it. They'd be calling it a manipulation tactic or somehow a way to get sympathy. I'm not saying that's what you were doing necessarily, I don't know, but it can come across that way, and people are gonna have opinions. That's just the way it is. It sucks. It's shitty. That's why I don't speak about my family on here. And yeah, people do their best to cut out the kids. They do. I've seen you do your best to cut out the kids. I've seen you not cut them out now, after the fact. I've seen you cut them out and do your best. And I've seen other people do the same just now in your situation. So there you go. I think that speaks for itself. And I think it speaks to why the comment was made by 6up and why others agreed with it and why others didn't stand up for you in that moment. Because it's not cool, in a lot of people's opinions, to speak about your family members and their mental health and their medical issues. It's just not. Whether they tell you it's okay or not, they may not be okay with it 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now. The internet is forever. And again, people are just going to have opinions. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means people are just going to have opinions. So get over it. You know why? Because you have opinions about people all day, every day, for hours upon hours upon hours. You're up on your platform giving your opinion. And you're giving your opinion about other people's lives, things that you see on their channels. So I don't get why it's okay for you and not for everyone else. And for anyone who wants to get it twisted and try and come in here and say, oh, you're speaking on someone's child. No, I'm speaking on Nonsense and what she said and did. So there's a difference there. That's how I think anyway. And I do think that this was important to correct, because no matter how many times you say it, that it was about cash and all this other stuff, it is what it is. What happened in this chat of soups is what happened, and it's not what you are saying happened. So that's why we're reviewing it. We're correcting misinformation over here. And your chat, they're right in there with you. I've been in there myself. We all do it. But it seems sometimes when it comes back on you and people have opinions about you and what you do, it can be controversial. So it makes sense that people will have opinions and there will be backlash. But it just seems that you tend to get irate when it happens to you. And I find that a little bit hypocritical. Usually when people have opinions about me, oh well, what can you do? I rarely make a video responding. But if I'm gonna be blocked and I can't share what I think, where I can't even have an opinion under the video where my name was brought up, then yeah, I might make a video about it. It might just happen. Anyway, I think the point was made here, but we're gonna continue on because, you know, we want full context.
A minor.
Please,
So have I. Nothing special there. There's loads of us. There's loads of us.
loads, but should you be talking about your child in that way? Is that their story to tell? I don't know how I feel about that, child. I feel like that's for the person it's actually happening to. I don't know.
I concur. I agree with that.
I think there's always a temptation, certainly I see it in a lot of parents, to feel like they own even their adult children. You don't own them. You don't own their stories.
No.
I am particularly careful in that regard with my kids.
Yes, you are.
For reasons. And no, it's not my story.
I just feel like not everything is for everybody. And some things you can keep to your, especially if it's not your story to tell. I get she's your child, but maybe let her make that decision. And that's just my humble opinion. And before you start,
Can I just,
yeah, go ahead.
before we move on from this, can I just say something? Because suicidal ideation has been mentioned, I want to make it very clear. There is nothing wrong with having to deal with that. It's a thing that a lot of people go through. The important thing is, don't come looking for help on the internet. Go to specialist people who can help. There are plenty of helplines. There are plenty of medical professionals. You will not find help on the internet. You just won't. But you should never feel guilty for going through that mental health situation. And I wish her nothing but the best. Been there, done that. It's tough, but once you learn to deal with it, you can get through it.
Right. I do wish her the best. I would just be careful as a parent. Just, hey, she's your child. You parent how you want to. I'm just speaking for me. There are some things that I think are sacred. And my child, their story, what they're going through, is not for me to tell.
She has come so far. People out here have to be fabricating what they're going through medically. Kenzie has to build a house out of the fucking paperwork and the imaging and the x-rays and everything that she's had to go through. The surgeries, the injections.
Hey,
The fucking
girl.
of not having a childhood because she got to live in the UK.
I kind of skipped over the child talk. It made me uncomfortable. So that's why if it jumps around, I didn't want to.
This is one of the few areas, actually, that I do relate to Nonsense's position on.
Okay, and there it is. There's 6up's comment, and it just came through. And you can kind of see now why she might have said that. Stop exploiting your kid. Now, on her stream, she said she was speaking kind of generally, like, you know, kind of like she meant stop exploiting your kids, like that. Either way, I do feel the same way. Like, when you're talking about your child in that type of... I don't think it's right, and people are going to have opinions. It's the way it is. So, especially when you're using it in defense mode. I mean, I don't want to say more than I want to say on here. That's the proper context. That's why she said it, because of all the talk. Anyway, you already know. I don't need to further explain it. We heard it. Well, we heard some of it because we don't need to further exploit anyone. And then we saw the comment come in right after that conversation. So hopefully it makes sense now to some of you. Just because Nonsense says it over and over again doesn't mean it's true. What actually happened is what actually happened. So do go look for yourself. If you don't believe me, go look for yourself. The link will be in the description. And we're going to continue for another couple minutes just to make sure that full context is there and you can see all the comments that come through, including mine. And then we're going to go finish off what we started, and that is Nonsense mentioning my name, and we'll review the rest of that, and then we'll be done here. Then our work will be done.
This is one of the few areas, actually, that I do relate to Nonsense's position on. Sit down, grab yourself a cup of tea. I'm going to say something controversial here. Yes, there is one part of this that I agree absolutely with Nonsense about, and that is if you are personally dealing with chronic or acute illness, or you're nursing somebody through that situation. So like you're the parent of a child who has got serious health issues, or you yourself have serious health issues. It is really hard to hear people coming into groups and scamming by saying how ill they are, or even talking up their illnesses like they want it to be worse than it is. It is difficult enough to cope with the reality of chronic illness in your everyday life without coming on and seeing people using it as a bullshit attention-seeking device. I am with her absolutely on that call.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that too. Yeah, it's 6up says, yes, Pearl, say it.
You can continue to take shots at Cash and I, because I'll never apologize for having the back of somebody I love. He never asked.
And this is what she does a lot. I've noticed Nonsense. Whenever she finds herself in some type of disagreement with somebody or people, more than one, she does this thing where it's not for her. She's only coming on here for her islanders, her people, her group, her girls. You know, it's always this ownership thing, and it's very noticeable. Every time.
I have to say, I've noticed the same. Things like, well, I wasn't even going to address this, but my islanders and this person in particular these people were so upset about what people are saying about me. I need to come on here, so I'm going to address it because people are just so upset. Well, that can be a little off-putting, in my opinion. It can be a little off-putting. So I think that's what Soup is referring to. It's like pushing your victimhood off onto someone else and giving the excuse that someone else was upset, so I had to come on here and say something. It seems fake. I'm sorry. It does. Why not just say you're pissed off because someone was talking about me? It's a cop-out.
My islanders told me not to do this, but you know what? I'm going to. It's for them. I'm going to speak out for them.
Asked me to do nothing. I did what was right because it's the right thing to do. Unlike all of you that say you do the right thing, I actually do it. I don't have to pretend. There's nothing weird about their relationship.
Would you like a medal made out of a cookie?
Right. It's always, she's always,
For the love of God.
unlike the rest of
This
the
is like,
losers.
if people have to tell you, this is like with Chloe, if people have to tell you how sexy they are, or Ziggy, if people have to tell you, I'm so transparent, guys. People have to tell you, unlike others, they do the right thing. No, listen, people know how people behave. If people have to keep telling you that they're this, that, or the other, it means that you won't see any evidence of it. They've got to keep telling you.
Yep. If you have to tell me the thing, then I probably don't believe the thing. Like, Clue always wants us to know that her and Cletus are getting it on. I don't want to know that, and you're probably not.
All right, so our work here is done on that area. We still need to go back and finish where Nonsense wants to speak about me, which is fine. She's perfectly allowed to speak about me. I have no problem with that. I just don't like being blocked to where I can't respond. Then again, I do have my own platform, so here I am. Let's get back to where we were at, and let's continue.
Fine. But I'm just telling you, I've always told you guys, if you see me cry, you better fucking run. Because what happens after these tears might fuck some of you up. Because this will get reported to the police. You don't get to just call Kyle and say that Kyle's touching kids' genitals. You don't get to just say these things about people. You don't get to say, please stop exploiting your children. Fuck you, 6up. I'll continue. And TPE, you were in there too. Don't ever play in my face again. I've fucking dealt with you calling me a tragedy pimp for long enough. Fuck you. You sat in that chat too. As 6up says, stop exploiting your kid.
Oh, I sure did. And it has nothing, not one single thing to do with that page, that disgusting page that I hope people are still reporting. I hope it's not still there. I don't know how it's still there, if it is still there by the time I get this video done. Let's hope it's not. But again, what happened in Soup's chat, what was said, what was agreed upon by myself, had nothing to do with that page. It had everything to do with what you said, what you yourself said. And yes, ma'am, I do think you're a tragedy pimp. I do think that you use Sebastian Rogers for your content. How much misinformation is there really? Is there really 10 hours a day of misinformation? Nah. How much drama can you mix in there? I don't think that, 6-7 hours a day is all misinformation that you're clearing up. I don't think so. How many times can you read the same filing over and over and over again? I don't think so. I think you're a tragedy pimp, and I think you're using this missing child to make money. And I do think that one day you'll probably realize it, that what you're doing isn't really helping. I mean, I realized it. Took me a while, but yeah, I realized it. But I wasn't going live 6, 4, 3, 7 hours a day. Never did. and eventually you'll get it. I think you're a good person. I think you have good intentions, but I do also think that you enjoy the money that's coming in. If you didn't, you wouldn't be on here 6, 7, 8, however many hours a day. 4 sometimes, 3 sometimes. I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't about the money, you wouldn't need to be on here this much. And again, that's just my opinion, the way I see it. Me and my soapbox. And yeah, we're all gonna have opinions. They're like assholes. We've all got one. You'll have to deal with it. You can freak out. You can get mad. You can do your thing. I don't give a shit. I don't care. You can pretend this never happened. That's what you did with Soups Live. You changed it all around to fit your narrative. And that is not cool in my eyes. So that's why I'm bringing attention to it. And the fact that I was blocked and you spoke about me and I didn't get to share my thoughts. I like sharing my thoughts. So I figured I'd make a video. I've heard a couple other people say it. I'm going to say it too. You have a lot of new stuff in your house. You guys went from being broke as fuck and needing help on the internet to then covering Sebastian Rogers. And then, oh wow, now we can afford all kinds of tattoos. Tattoos are expensive. Very expensive. Just saying. Just a little side thought that I had. Not that it's any of my business what you buy. I mean, you could have won the lottery on the side. I highly doubt it. But I do hope that you sleep okay at night, knowing that Sebastian paid for your tattoos. Some people aren't gonna like that, what I just said, and I'm okay with that. Y'all can agree or disagree. You can stay, you can go. I mean, I'd love to have you. I'm good to agree to disagree with a lot of people, but I myself see exploitation. When you're on episode 400 of Something to Do with Sebastian Rogers, and you're raking in the money every month with all your Islanders and memberships, I think that's exploitation. And that goes for anyone who's doing that. Anyone. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I can agree with some of it, like when you correct misinformation. I'll be there for that. I concur. I agree. I think that's a good thing to correct misinformation. What I don't agree with is going over the same stuff over and over and over again so that you can get a paycheck. That I don't agree with. It's not right. And it is very much exploitation. So let's continue with the video where Nonsense was upset that I called her a tragedy pimp a couple times. I don't know if I actually did, but if I did, great. That's what I think. So perfect. Moving on.
Again, the proof of 6 Up saying that in Soups yesterday is on Curvy Barbies.
The proof is in the pudding. She said it, she meant it. I agreed with it, and I'm sure plenty of others also agreed with it.
Shut up. I'm up here. Don't do it.
Revival, I don't want you up here. You get attacked enough for being, you and Am get fucking railroaded for being my friends. Revival is truly one of the most genuine. Her and Am both are genuinely such fucking, Revival and Am both got me through yesterday. You don't get to say, please stop exploiting your children. Fuck you, 6 Up. I'll continue. And TPE, you were in there too. Don't ever play in my face again. I've fucking dealt with you calling me a tragedy pimp for long enough. Fuck you. You sat in that chat too. As 6 Up says, stop exploiting your kid.
Sure did, and we all know why.
Such fucking, Revival and Am both got me through yesterday. And she takes so much shit. And she was shit on hardcore by the same group of people. Both of them. Because they were my friends.
I've seen Revival stand against 1,000 people in a chat for just one person. I've seen her do it for 3 people, and people railroaded the out of her. Revival is good people.
So I don't really know Revival very well. The only thing I know about Am is her story and sending all the love and prayers I always have. And yeah, I just do know that Revival at least sits in Nonsense's chat while people get railroaded. So there's that. You guys need to realize that people have their own opinions about situations and they're allowed to express them. I don't know. I understand the whole page thing is making nonsense, making you upset, nonsense, and that's understandable. I'd be upset too. The other stuff, again, you're taking it out of context. I think you fucked up. I do. Personally, I really do think you fucked up. And I think a lot of other people think you fucked up. And you're fucking up in other ways as well. So, yeah. And all opinions are welcome here on this channel, as long as you say it respectfully and you're not like a bigot or a homophobe. You're welcome to share your comments here. You're allowed to stand up for whoever you want to stand up for, and that's perfectly fine here. You're not going to be blocked or deleted for having an opinion. Alright, this video is getting way too long. We're going to end with Nonsense's last clip, where I think she's talking about me. Again, I can't be sure, but it sure sounds like it. Me and other people, of course. Now, I was going to mention Chronicles of the Shady. Shady. Girl! Why is it that we were cordial for so long? Even when we disagreed on a few things, it was fine. But then you put one of my comments, which, again, was kind of taken out of context because we were talking about a specific video where she did cut the kids off. Whether she did not in another area, I don't freaking know. But in that video, yes, Nonsense did cut the kids out. You know, the one we were watching and talking about at the time that I made that comment? Anyway, doesn't matter. My point is that you blocked me right after making that video, after years and years of being perfectly fine, talking with me, going back and forth. You made comments on my videos, I made comments on yours, we agreed to disagree in certain areas, and that was fine. But now, all of a sudden, you make a video with me in it, and then you block me. Pussy ass move! I mean, seriously, why are you blocking me? I would love to know. Maybe you could just unblock me, or maybe you just didn't want me to see your comments in Tragedy Pimp chats. I don't know. That's just a guess. I could be completely wrong. I'm just guessing. I just don't get it. But I'm gonna say it again. Pussy ass move. Girl. Pussy ass move. Anyway, good riddance. Alright, let's move on. Let's let Nonsense's last little tiny clip here speak for itself. Let's let it speak for itself. They talk about fence riders and, well, she does. Anyway, you'll see. I don't think I need to say a word. I think it all just will speak for itself. Alright, take care everyone. Toodles! Oh, and don't forget, all the links will be in the description so that you can get full context on all the things. Oh, and I always leave fun little clips at the end, so don't take off yet. See you soon.
I guess it's my karma of sorts. First and foremost, I do not apologize for anything I said yesterday. I stand exactly where I stand. To the people I said to all the way off, I stand on that. Chances are you're blocked over here. I'm not entertaining a conversation. Don't email me. I have seen you for what you were for months on end, years, some of you. Don't associate with your group of people. Don't care to. There's no going back for me. There's no need to mend fences because you guys ride those fences. Well, we just jump fences. So there's that. We'll never be the same, and I'm just not interested. Just not interested. You guys know how I maneuver, and it's just how it goes. So, hey, Cranky.
Hold on a minute.
Huh?
Oh,
Did y'all see that?
that's lovely. She's totally screen sniping us right now. She's
sniping you.
Yeah. Now she's not playing it like
It doesn't
she's
matter.
behind, but she's still. Yeah, she's literally screen sniping right now as we speak. You miserable twat waffle! I cannot stand you.
Pretend you win. You're a hardy soul.
Oh, by the way, I'm a f***ing twat waffle. Oh no, not a twat waffle. Oh my feces are so hurt.
That's the newest nickname. Petty Betty, Trash Bag, Karen, Simple Bish, Twat Waffle. I mean, whatever.
Bright and shiny, yes, isn't it wonderful? Stay comfortable, relax, sit and watch it while I creep behind your backs and pick pockets. I don't stop at nickels and dimes when I want your time and the thoughts from your mind. Don't worry, it's fine. Stop looking backstage. Why you so curious? Act your age. Welcome to the carnival, ladies and gentlemen.